What's up, guys and gals? Red Icing Guy back again to talk about Persona 5 once again. Man, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. Now, before I start, I need to mention again that I am milking the current information dry and will run out of Persona 5 theories soon. So, I want to know what the viewers' opinions are on which game I should cover next. I know after this year's E3 or EA event, I'm going to cover Mass Effect Andromeda, but until then, I need a subject to cover. So please leave a comment. I do care what you think. Alright, back to the subject at hand. Persona 5 characters and their personas. Luckily, we have some news that came out recently, and it comes directly from the director of Persona 5. And I'm going to cover each character individually. If you want to see the source info of the interview, I'll leave a link down in the description. Let's just start off with the main character, because why the hell not? The main character may not be as different from the past two personas as we thought. Like past renditions, he will be a blank slate, and the player will develop him in his or her own way. This is awesome! For a while, I thought that they were going to pull a Fallout 4 and decrease immersion by giving the MC his own personality before the game starts. And since we, the players, decide how he acts, it may affect how we play. Do we roleplay or go for the easiest answers? There isn't a GameShark code for this game this time, so we will need to feel compelled to play it our way, making it the MC's way as well. So in short, we will get to feel the new kid off the train scenario again. Now that that's out of the way, take a look at his persona, Arsene the Gentleman Thief. I've read a few translations from the French text. You may have heard his relation to Lupin III, but please don't think that anymore. The original text depicts him as a thief who steals for the fun of it and outsmarting his opponents. Instead, think of him as a Sherlock Holmes who became a thief, or Kaito Kid from the Detective Conan series. Lupin III is motivated by greed, while Arsene is motivated by the thrill of the heist and the confusion of his pursuers. In foreshadowing the rest of the video, expect to see this theme come up again. Let's move on to the next character with more concrete info. Ryuji seems like a next logical step. Now, when Ryuji popped out on the scene, some people thought, oh great, another kanji, but that is not completely the case here. While he is a delinquent with a softer side, he has a different outlook on life. He believes that the world can change for the benefit of everyone and wants to take his role in doing so. Sounds a little like Yosuke to me. In fact, he is the one responsible for the formation of the Phantom Thieves, so he's not just another musclehead, and he seems more like Yosuke. His persona? Captain Kidd. Further explains him. Captain Kidd was a privateer turned pirate during the height of colonialism. In fictional literature, he was a ruthless pirate who stole from any ship passing his way. Rather than spend his spoils on living a grand life, he buried his treasures at random locations and killed the men burying it to make sure only he knew where it was. He did this because he understood that a wanted man walking into town with an exorbitant amount of money would expose his location and cause his capture. Some sources explain his actions as an affront to the rich. If he couldn't use the money, no one could. Captain Kidd knew he could die each time he set sail, and the location of his treasure would be forever hidden. The ultimate F.U. to those seeking his wealth. He is not really a Robin Hood type character. So many people out there are making predictions for Persona 5, and they're thinking that the party's personas carry a Robin Hood theme, but they actually don't. The theme, so far as the personas are concerned, seems more like thieves who just want to stick it to the man rather than give to the poor. And we will see more of this as we move on to Anne's segment. Now, even though that was a crappy transition, Anne does further our understanding of the group. Anne is described as a girl with very few real friends. Her facade helps her make fake friends, but inside she feels alone and isolated. The director said she will be the life of the party once she joins the team, most likely because she could be herself around the party members because she considers them her friends. The director also states that she joins the team after a certain incident. Could that incident be the scenario put forth in the last video? I don't know. We'll have to wait to see. Now let's move on to her persona, Carmen. This is a match made in heaven. If you haven't heard the music from Carmen or read upon Carmen's character, you should. The music is amazing, and the story has close parallels to life in general. Now, Carmen, to use the language of today's kids, is a fake bitch. This fits in with Anne, because Anne had to live a fake life with a fake personality to make friends, and often chastises others at a moment's notice. But Carmen is more than your average petty vixen. In the opera, Carmen often tries to trick men into doing things for her. As seen in the persona design, we could see a little bit of a parallel. However, if the men refuse her wishes, she often does it herself to shame them and to prove that she is not some gold-digging skank looking for a free ride. She's capable, seductive, feisty, and slightly dominating. As long as she doesn't have Rise moments that break character, I won't hate her. She actually seems to be fitting in well with this, and it's not gonna be just a fight of personalities like Persona 4. Now, the subject has to change again for the progression of the video. Alright, it's time to get cute. Well, not me. I mean Morgana. This is awkward. But back onto the subject. When some others and I saw Morgana, a thought went through our heads collectively. Oh, great. Another Teddy. But after this director interview, we could safely say she won't be as bad. Morgana the Cat is a character younger people will identify more with than older fans. I'm not just saying that because of the semi-slapstick cartoon image she portrays, but rather her internal issues. The interview points out that she has issues with people not taking her seriously. When you think about it, who is going to take this face seriously? No one. Absolutely no one. That's who. Who's a cute kitty? You are. You are. I'm contributing to the problem. This is why younger players will identify more with her. No matter how hard you work or how mature you act, others can't take cute or young people seriously. Like the others, her persona Zoro matches her personality. In order for her to be taken seriously, she adopts this tough, macho, and slightly dashing persona. Yet the relations go further in the Zoro source information. Zoro was a pampered youth who took on his thief role to help his community from either Spanish or Mexican oppression, depending on which source you look at. To keep his identity a secret, he acted like a bumbling idiot with no coordination. However, his facade worked a little too well. Even when Zoro unmasked himself to his family and friends, they said stuff like, "Stop pretending to be Zoro," or "Stop playing make-believe and act your age for once." Sound familiar? Morgana will deal with these issues as the game goes on, and it could be very important to the story. Similar to Teddy's identity crisis, she is even more important to the story because the director lets something slip. He says that Morgana will help the characters in the navigation of the other world. Navigating as in navigator, similar to Mitsuru, Fuka, Teddy, and Rise. Either way, her storyline will be interesting to look at. Let's leave the speculation here and move on to the last character. Alright, Yusuke. Yusuke is our last party member to look at, since Atlus is really good at keeping their mouth shut. Yusuke is a talented artist and an honor student. However, the translations say his true personality is eccentric. While that is a vague term, it doesn't exactly depict the image presented to us in the trailers. He seems more reserved and shy, but eccentric doesn't match either of those terms. Eccentric often means terms like boisterous, perverted, or weird. I have a feeling he will be the odd man out of the group. When he tries to be himself, even his close friends are alarmed. But when we take a look at his persona Goemon, we get a different notion completely. Goemon was a thief in 16th century Japan. His exploits were that of legend, and later popular culture transformed him into a Robin Hood type character. The more important detail is that he was anti-authoritarian from the get-go. Throughout his life, the shogunate was always a problem for him. This led to his stick-it-to-the-man attitude. However, his faults often were his own worst enemy. Emotional instability led to his actions and his downfall. Goemon's mistakes in life were often the results of actions based off of rage and lust. Acting off of these emotions, he slept with powerful men's wives and mistresses, and failed some assassination attempts by acting too hastily. Does this translate over into Yusuke? Will he be ecchi and quick to anger? I don't know. We'll have to wait for the game. But it's something to think about. Well, that concludes the analysis of the characters and their personas. Do you have any questions? Am I wrong in one of the subjects? Do you have any theories of your own? Leave a comment and I will get back to you. Next weekend, I'll try to have the next video out about the mystery brunette and possible party personas that are upcoming. Thanks for watching. And again, I can't think of a closer. So,
goodbye.